I don't know how many people in Bombay offhand like to look at, say, Assamese cinema or films in Sheduk film, for example, right? So they're not seeking out these films. That specific language people might. If Malayali guys are there, they might look out for Malayali films. Or Assamese filmmakers, Assamese community will look out for films from there. I'm saying films should be irrespective of the language because they're good films. We should seek them out. But Bombay is not particularly here for that. Festivals are. So I've always made it my business to be interested in cinema from all over India and all over the region. So I've really also sought out, not only from Northeast especially, which really has interested me, as I said, from long, but also from, so I represent 7 countries, so India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Afghanistan, who make fantastic films. A lot of the films made in these tiny, tiny, tiny countries are at Cannes, Berlin, Venice, Toronto. They're up for Oscar nominations. Okay, can anyone tell me a film from this northeastern area, kind of Himalayan, rather, I'd say a Himalayan area, that got an Oscar nomination? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, please? No. I'm saying from a filmmaker from the Himalayan region. A filmmaker from the Himalayan region who actually got an Oscar nomination. Wake up, guys, tell me.
It's a film from Bhutan.
Yes, tell me the name of the film and the filmmaker.
Lunana, Yak in the Classroom.
Sorry?
Pao Ching is the director. Pao Ching.
Raise your hand who's speaking. I can't hear you.
Give the mic.
Stands and you don't qualify your filmmaker. If nobody gets it, then of course I'm going to ask you.
I was waiting.
Sorry?
Pao Ching.
Super. And what is the film? What is the film that?
I don't remember it.
Okay. Everybody who doesn't know a Himalayan film that got an Oscar nomination really deserves maybe 20 lashes or something very naughty. This is from this region, I'm saying, like Himalayan, and you don't know somebody who has accomplished so much with also very little resources like you. Okay, he's not born to royalty and loaded and with 2 bungalows in Bombay. Okay, he's also filmmakers in your own region as well. Make it a point to see films from everybody in your region. Can be good, can be bad, can be rubbish. But for me, rubbish is really valuable. It's good to see rubbish because you know, oh my God, this is a way never to make a film like this. It's very valuable. Rubbish is very valuable for me. I see lots of films. Every now and then I like to go and see films in Bombay in a big theatre called 80 Galaxy. Lots of Janta goes and, you know, when Salman Khan comes, they will throw coins at the screen. They'll be so happy that you're dancing in the aisles. They will be so thrilled. They will rip up the seats, tear the seats. You know, this kind of frenzy of passion for the movies. I like that energy. So even if it's trash, it tells you how not to make movies as well, right? So I think my life would be very limited if I only spend my time seeing good art house films. That's not enough for me. I need to see the whole lot, which also gives me perspective to appreciate why an independent art house film is so good because it's struggling in such a difficult circumstance and still making great cinema, right? So I'm quite broken-hearted that you guys didn't know, but it's a very good wake-up call. So Stenson, can you tell us what you know about this Oscar-nominated film? Sorry,
You're like the front benchers
you knew the answer. Tell us the name, the film, whatever you know about it.
The film is from Bhutan.
Yes?
The filmmaker's name is Pao Ching. Pao Ching Dorje. And his movie is called Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom.
Yay! Big hand!
His new movie was
Yes.
also shortlisted, didn't get nominated, but it was shortlisted. It's called Monk and the Gun. Lunana was his first movie and it got Oscar nomination, first feature film.
Yeah.
He was not even a film student or anything, like he wasn't
Yeah.
very good
Fantastic.
photographer.
Yeah. Right, so this is amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Stanzil. So this is a guy who's got an Oscar nomination. Like from India we didn't get, right? From tiny Bhutan, struggling like this, like Stanzil and all of you, you know, you're shooting at high altitudes, you don't have a cinematographer there, you have to get camera equipment from Delhi. He took 1 week to lug the equipment from Delhi, get it to Thimphu, and then go to rural areas, and then road, and then motorless road, like no road, and then ox cart or whatever to the location where he was shooting. He you know, you guys who complain about struggling without resources, sitting here in Itanagar, of course you're struggling. I honor and I acknowledge your struggle. This guy, but you've got electricity. There's how many lights here? 25 lights in this one room. He was making films without electricity. He made an Oscar-nominated film, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, with no electricity. So he was sitting there, coming down, loading these solar batteries and taking them up to load, you know. He didn't have electricity. And they're burning dung, you know, and he has pictures grinning with him, grinning with, carrying dung in his hand. Dried cow dung, the yak dung, right? So people are making films in very difficult circles, like you, but maybe even more difficult. So you guys are privileged. You've got electricity. You've got vehicles, I see cars on the road, so you can travel to some place and make. So these guys have to climb because there are no motorable roads or have an ox or something, right? So people are making films in very difficult circles in your region, in the Himalayan region, right? It's very difficult to make films. Stanza was just showing how difficult it is to make films at that height with oxygen. He had the same challenges. And again, no actors, can't get actors. So in his first film, so it's about kids. I mean, he has a cast, a very difficult to get actors because there's no industry. But in his second film, he cast a music guy, a musician who at least has confidence, his body language on stage, he knows how to be on stage. Misty Terrace is the guy called Misty Terrace. So he cast a musician as an actor. You know, there are no actors. There are so hardly, right? So the industry struggles at many levels, but it's his determination. With his first film, Lunana, Yak in the Classroom, guess who was plugging it? Because when you have to run an Oscar campaign, it's some insane level of money. You need to have a campaign, insane level of contacts, of publicity, putting ads and variety of Hollywood Reporter, getting people to write and tweet about. It is some other zone of influence that you need, or goodwill that you need, that people will plug your film and one tiny Bhutanese film will be up against all the big guns from other countries, right? And guess who was promoting Lunana, Yak in the Classroom? Ang Lee. Ang Lee was promoting the first film of a guy from Bhutan, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom, about 2-3 little kiddos in a classroom, primary classroom, who have a yak in the classroom. The film is about that. Yeah, so all I'm saying is just have tremendous faith in your film, and somehow the right people will find themselves into your life. I Googled and I found out, I met him, I interviewed him. His wife, Stephanie Lai, is a Taiwanese. She's an actress and a producer. She's produced his films. I'm presuming, I don't know for a fact, but there are connections. So Ang Lee was also, I mean, he's American, but he's from Taiwan, and there may have been some connection there. But he's really, imagine getting Ang Lee to promote your first film. How cool is that, right? So all I'm saying is just have faith that you're doing your best, and things will happen. Leave the rest to the universe.
Okay. As a filmmakers, I get lots of questions from other filmmakers who are with arts like, what kind of film gets selected in film festivals? So, is there any formulas to make film that goes to film festivals? What do you think?
Thank you for asking. Googly question. So, luckily I don't know what is a festival film. I don't want to find out. I think if everyone had the formula to how to make a film, the first question would be how to make a successful film that makes money at the box office. That would normally be your first question. And then second one, what's a festival, right? So if you don't have the answer to the first one, you don't have a magic formula how to make a box office successful film, then I don't have the answer either to make a successful festival film. But I would definitely mention that if I'm watching a film that I feel is made for festivals, we will all run away. We don't want to see such a film. At least all of the programmers that I know and I work with, they're not interested in films made for festivals. I'm really interested in films that you want to make for yourself and your audience, your natural audience, whoever your natural audience is. I'm interested. So earlier, this point came of authenticity, and I think that's really important as well. So you make films for yourself, you make films for your own audience. That I'm interested in. So for example, in an earlier era, the dilemma still exists of how you make a film for your own audience and how you can work for festivals. So in an earlier era, like I remember maybe one of the first times I was working in Berlin, around 1998. So Mani Ratnam had sent his Dil Se, this is that long ago. And by coincidence that year was on a jury there called the Fipreski jury, which is a jury of film critics. And this very senior, lovely man called Derek Malcolm, who was a British senior guy who passed away recently, very great nurturer of Indian cinema. And he was on the jury, and Mani Sir's film had come, Dil Se. And Mani Sir was in his mind would have been the same question, how do I, because his films are very broad appeal, mainstream films. He's talking about something very important and sensitive. He's dealing with sensitivity, but his format is full on mainstream. He'll have stars, he'll have masala song and dance, and he'll have chaya chaya in the middle of nowhere, right? Yeah. So in the middle of a political film, he'll have a hot dance on the moving train. So he plays with a lot of mainstream elements while actually telling a very powerful, sensitive, realistic story. It's a great skill to be able to do both. To do what I call Mindy films, which is mainstream plus indie. You have mainstream elements, but telling an indie story with realistic and sensitive storytelling. So Mani Sir at that time, he was also confused with the same question, how do I make my mainstream film appeal to festivals? So in those days, people would cut out, they'll say, oh God, these Goras can't handle 8 songs. I'll better send an international cut with 2 songs, or 1 or 2 songs, because they think, why are people suddenly dancing so much in the middle of a conversation in Chennai, for example. So he cut out most of the songs and he sent an international cut. And Derek Malcolm was on the jury. He said in mock anger, he said, what? Mani Sir sent us the film without the song? Send it back and tell me we want only the songs. You know? Because it's such a skill that Indians have to shoot song and dance, which no other culture in the world has. You and I might laugh at it and say, what rubbish, there are songs. But this is the skill that no other film culture in the world has. It's like Hong Kong. Hong Kong filmmakers are very good with martial arts films, wuxia genre. They make martial arts films so well that even if you gave an Indian top director or an American guy a budget, they don't have that skill because it's a very specific way of storytelling in the way those fight scenes are choreographed, right? It's almost balletic sometimes, so beautiful. It's almost flowing like a song. So also our skill of the art of song picturization is what makes our cinema unique. It's a very extremely demanding skill, and very few have skill to do it well. If you gave me a lot of money or gave him $1 million, everybody can't do it necessarily because we're Indian. It's not an automatic thing. It's a very highly specialized skill. And somebody like Derek Malcolm appreciated it so much, and he said, but Mani Sir is so good with song and dance, like he's so good with song picturization. If he's sending us a film without that, what is the point of it, right? It's almost, and he's of course mocking, but it's also to tell you that people don't automatically assume that having songs is rubbish. So there's no one answer to that question, is to say that different people look out for different things. So really at the end it always comes down to make the film you want, right? Because the reason I say that is because if you cut out the songs and actually you're showing it in Chennai or India with all the songs, and this is how you make films and this is how your audience connects with you, and then because somebody else can't handle the songs and you're cutting out all the songs, sending him a version, an international version without that, there is no guarantee that they will select it. When you make a film that you think festivals will select, and you're not actually telling a story that you want to make, but you think, if I do this, oh, they'll get bored, they won't take this film. Then you're making a film that festivals will hopefully select, so that's not the film you want. And on the other hand, there's no guarantee they will select it either. So both of you may be very unhappy. You also won't get your film, you're not making the film you want, and if they don't take it, you'll get 20 rejections, and then you'll think you're a useless filmmaker, which is not true. There's just a mismatch there, right? It's like you're getting married or your daughter's getting married. You have to find the right match. It's not. It doesn't mean if 20 creepy guys, don't work out for your daughter's wedding as a match. It doesn't mean your daughter is bad or she's not talented or gifted or beautiful. She is just as good as she is, but the match didn't work out. That's okay. It's not a necessary comment on your daughter. You understand? They're two different things. It's also important to handle rejection with the right perspective. It's not matching their requirements. That's it. It doesn't make you a bad filmmaker. If you get 2,000 rejections, it is still not a comment on your talent. That's what it is. It means that they're looking for something else. That's all.
Every film needs to be represented well, be it by the programmer or be it by the